So here we go. So good morning, folks. I thought I'd do a quick walkthrough while the temperatures were still kind of cool and show you what we've got going on so far. So including our old septic system, went from right there where Bones is about to cross over, was the old tank. It's still there, and it went out into the yard in 3 different ways for a leach field. And the soil's so bad out there, the field just isn't working. So this system will be dual tank. It'll overflow out of that tank into this one, and then this one will hold everything until it's pumped out, which is where that white line goes out to the leach field, which we'll take a walk up there in a little bit. But it's got a outside alarm here, which will go off when the pump if for some reason the pump isn't working. It'll trip that, and it'll sound a pretty loud alarm where neighbors will know it's off. So, but let's take a walk. We'll follow the line. This is a really long line. We'll follow the whole thing up to the to the leach field. Actually gonna walk through it till I get over here. So right straight through. This soil don't look too bad as far as not being rocky. In some spots they ran into a lot of rocks and a lot of roots. The previous owner had these drain tile lines put in for the gutters, and it was very problematic for the septic system. It ran right through where the pipes were. I really don't know why they had it like that, but they did. We'll just keep on going down the line. Comes through the front yard. I'm curious because some point through here they had to cross the water. They must be above it, because the water line comes from right over there. It comes straight through, so they must have went above it. I'll keep walking down. Now I should count the length one of these times, and I would know the exact footage. Maybe I'll do it on the way back. Each length is 20 feet, so it's sleeved there. I think it's a 2-inch into, he said, a 3 or 4-incher, but that's so that the weight of the driveway or the weight of the traffic on the driveway don't crush the pipe or anything. So, now what will happen is when this gets filled back in, it will settle, and it's going to settle, and I know I'll have to do work next year, but whatever. There is where it's sleeved to, so I'm right by the side of the house. Come on, doggos. So it was measured out to be around 700 feet, but they went a different route, and it should have saved them quite a bit of footage, which is why I think on my way back I'll count how many segments there. Did a really good job of digging the trench. and not staving up my driveway. This is where it got kind of precarious. He says it doesn't have to be deep, and I totally get it. It doesn't. We don't have to worry about it freezing or anything, but it's pretty shallow right there, just barely a foot. But whatever. It doesn't have cold water or anything going through it. You know, the only thing that'll be transferring through this will be wastewater, which is usually warmer and doesn't have an issue. Waste lines usually don't have an issue with freezing up. So here we are at the pond area. Cuts right through. And he actually followed the trench that I had here for the most part. No, he didn't. It was a little over there. So he dug to the other side of it, which is fine. I don't care. So we're way up in the pasture, off to the side. This is one of the wooded pastures we have. I guess you don't really call it a pasture, but it is meant for animals to be grazing and eating, which is why we call it that. When we had the horses, they would come in here, you know, and graze and eat. But we have since made it into a go-kart track and a pond. The horses are gone. Get something in the shoe. Dogs are loving this adventure. So right straight through the woods. Had some hard digging through here, I can tell. What do you got, Bonesy? All the way. Ooh, that's a good rock. I'm going to take that for myself. That's a good one. Could make something with that. Interesting. And then here we are at the 2 points in the gate. So this gate looks back at the barn and everything way over there. I think Julia's garden and stuff is over there. And then it just keeps coming up here to the field. Brownie's gonna keep leading the way. Excuse me. I was up here I'm in my Crocs now. And the other day I was in my Crocs when I was up here with the workers. And the one guy's like, I don't know how you do it, man, walking around up here. And it's funny because I know other people said the similar. I've gotten just so accustomed to it. So see the line, it goes way out and around, which is crazy to me, but they got to get it to the farthest side of the mound, which is way over there. And then it'll disperse from way over there towards me here. This trench then gets filled with this other type of material, which is, I think, something like that. Which will, so you'll have the septic field out here, the leach field, and then around the whole leach field will be a drain with something like that in it, and that'll protect the septic area from being overly wet. If it starts to get too wet or what have you from rain, it should flow out and drain out through those drains that surround the septic field. Leaving the septic field much drier and able to receive the waste material when you pump it up here. So this is where they finished. Oh, there's the other junction down here. Let's take a look. And that's probably where it transfers from pump line to septic line, I bet. It's like a union box. Yeah, I don't know for sure, but I think that's what it is. The pump line will probably come into that, and then the septic will, out the multiple holes on the sides here. I want to say it's like a manifold or something to that effect. Huh. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I told them it was like right here, and I'm almost standing in the exact spot. I told the guy just in front of that mound, and we're standing. That's where we're standing. It's funny. They didn't want to believe me, but whatever. So that's that. And like I said, it's quite a bit of distance. I'm gonna walk it off and count the segments and see where we're at. But this will be it. This whole area. It's quite a project. But hey, we need to have it done. So while I'm up here, I'm gonna go look at the beehive and the apple trees. All right, so I walked it off, and the total distance was, not distance, total segments of pipe was 45. And there was a couple of segments I noticed that weren't 20-foot segments. So 900 minus, a couple feet, give or take, whatever. So that's pretty far, much farther than they had given me as an estimate. I said around 1,000 feet. And they came back with like 600 and something. And I was thinking, that's kind of low. But yeah, it's a lot of pipe. It's a long run. I noticed one segment that, boy, it was such a hard turn. It kind of gave me concern looking at the pipe. But I'll trust them. They're an older squad, and they seem like they really got their stuff together. They laid basically this pipe in one working day. They did it over 2 half days, but for all intents and purposes, it was done in 8 hours of work, maybe a little more. Standing back by the pond, it's really pretty back here. I love it. But so that's that. We'll like I said, they're gonna be back on Monday, obviously, and the owner said if everything goes well, they should be done by Wednesday. They're supposed to bring like 60 ton of rock in for the drain. So that should be interesting. That's roughly 4, probably 5 dump trucks of material. Your tandem axles it depends. Some of them are 10, some of them are 14, but it's going to be around 5 of those dump trucks. So that should be pretty cool. Actually, no, that I could be wrong on that. I just realized he said 60 ton, not 60 yards. So either I misheard him and he said yards, because 60 ton, I don't know if that's, it's a lot, but I don't know if it's the same as 60 yards. A yard of stone has got to be close to a ton, if not maybe even a little more. Don't know. I'm bad at that stuff. I'll call, like if I call a stone yard, I'll tell them exactly what I'm getting into and just, what's your best advice? I've done, usually in most cases, have done a little bit of research. so I'll know that, you know, I'm thinking in my head that I want, you know, number 2 crush or run, you know. And then when they give me that as an option, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that verifies what I'm thinking too. So let's go with that. Same thing when I've had to do work with the sawmills. I just, you know, be honest with you, I'm not exactly sure. I'm like, this is what I think I need, and what do you think? And usually they're really good at, oh my goodness, Bones. Oh, hey, she was rolling around the dirt, and the one side of her is just completely brown, like with dirt. I'm gonna try to get a video. What are you doing? Hey, stop. Come here. Bones, come. Bones. She looks like one of those like African kids, like how they paint themselves up, like sometimes, and dirt and stuff. That's what she looks like. She's like her. She painted half her body in dirt. Goofy dog. Well, we'll end it right there, folks. I'm back at the shop. It's actually several hours later, and I realized I completely forgot to put a little end card on here for you. But yeah, we'll look forward to next week and get some more video as they finish up the septic system, and I'll keep you all posted as it goes along. All right, folks, take care.